Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our presentation. My name is Esther Deli and I'm joined here today by my dear colleagues Claudia Jakob and Fruzsina Mikó in order to present you our research entitled The Bold Vision, the analysis of the visual language and imagery of Hungarian Romas. Let's jump right into it. Roma or Gypsy art has been recognized and appreciated for a very long time, for it nurtures the nature and depth of the culture it comes and draws its energy from. Pointed out by Liégeois, much of the originality of the Roma art lies in the quality of creative interpretation as a form of creation. With its bold colours, singular dressing, dance moves, paintings and music, Gypsy art is a truly hybrid one. Despite all endeavours for complete integration, the unfavourable social and economic situation of the Roma population in Hungary is a frequent topic of public discourse. Art-related activities have a momentous role in increasing the disadvantaged Roma population's school performance and compensate for their socialization disadvantages. After the conceptualization of Roma art, our research introduces the situation of the visual education of Hungarian Romas through presenting the best practices used in the currently running domestic development programs, as well as two in-depth expert interviews conducted with prominent individuals who have successfully implemented development programs for disadvantaged Roma. Besides the examination of the external agents of the visual development of Roma integration, a qualitative content analysis of 30 paintings created by 30 different Roma artists was executed in order to shed light on how the Gypsy artists, as internal agents themselves, communicate their cultures and see how their visuality reflects the attitudes of Gypsy communities. Now, it is obviously beyond the scope of this research to give a general conceptualization of Hungarian Roma art. Rather, this research is meant to be an exercise in visual rhetoric, and thus it seeks to provide a semiotic rhetorical analysis of the works of Hungarian Gypsy artists in order to interpret social, aesthetic, ideological and rhetorical intentions to customize the implemented development programs to their culture and the visual framework which will serve their integration to the fullest. Let me give the word to my dear colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. First of all, I would like to briefly present the situation of visual education for Roma people in Hungary. Within the framework of the Acting on the Margins Art as Social Sculpture project, we created a database summarizing 23 development programs available for young people with social disadvantages in Hungary. The general experience of this desk research process is that there is limited publicly available information on the content and the exact method of the programs. They typically do not have a well-structured website for active and wide-ranging communication of experiences and results. Visual arts, drawing, painting, and so on are clearly the most common artistic techniques, as well as various do-it-yourself activities with textile or food, paper, and also crafts are quite common. In the case of some programs, a different focus was prevailed, for example, the use of performing arts, drama, or multimedia tools. Overall, it can be said that programs typically do not combine art forms and techniques, but focus on one form. Let me highlight some development programs. The Reaper Foundation in Hungarian Igazgyöngy Alapítvány operates an art school as well as after-school activities. In the art school, the number of cognitively disadvantaged, mostly Roma students, is remarkably high. The methodology used in the school is the so-called triple focus visual education, developing visual communication, compensating for disadvantages, and developing social competencies. The Bagás Public Benefit Association operates 8 different programs. Their own method focuses on local needs through individual and group programs as needed, such as the Drug Alternative Program, catch-up programs, at-home development, and tent development programs. They also have special programs to help families in crisis. Another best practice is the International Roma Theatre Festival, which has been organized several times by the Independent Theatre under the title Roma Heroes. Performing arts, storytelling, drama, inspiring stories not only enable the non-Roma community to learn about the situation of the Roma community, but they also prove to be an effective tool in developing skills and abilities when incorporated into a Roma development program. Let me give the floor to Claudia.
Thank you, Fruzsi. Now I'm going to talk about our research, which based on Daniel Chandler's codes. Chandler's social codes could be analyzed primarily on the basis of physical and behavioral codes in the paintings. Most of the images show human figures. Nearly half of the pictures are characterized by strong color usage. Vivid images tend to be dominated by dark colors. Also, nearly half of the paintings show some form of physical contact. The gazes of the people displayed are visible in more than half of the images. Two-thirds of these images were characterized by negative and neutral facial expression. Positive facial expression was identifiable only in one painting. In many cases, the pictures depict some ordinary situations, the snatched moment of everyday life, everyday habits. Some folk or traditional aspects were identifiable in the images. There were few cases where family images or emphasis on femininity could be discovered. Any work-type activity was depicted in two pictures. The paintings were also analyzed according to Chandler's perceptual and ideological codes. Most of the paintings shows discrimination based on minority extents as well as sadness and suffering. In several images, suffering, fear, and exclusion were present. For the case of these images, powerful events emerged, such as the depiction of the Roma Holocaust, eviction, and murder. In addition, death, pain, aggression, and poverty also appeared in several cases. Only one image conveyed happiness or celebration, and two images of love and attraction.
Summarizing the presentation, we can say that Roma artists prefer to use strong, vivid colors and have a truly human-centered visual representation. The persons represented in their art were mainly involved in everyday life and folk activities. Their facial expression mostly expressed sadness, fear, or anger. On behalf of my dear colleagues and myself, thank you for your kind attention.